Hello, my friends. I do have a question. Silver going up to around $46 an ounce. Is it time to buy or sell? That is the question. And if you are going to sell, who's going to buy your stuff? Well, this is a 4 real coin. A real 1852. It's worn. Someone wrote 0.39 ounces on this, but that wasn't right. I looked the coin up. It's ASW is 0.1521. But I do believe this coin is old enough that survivability is pretty low on them. And I am sure these were used back in the day a lot, being this kind of wear on it. And this is Queen Isabel. It says Spain. I think it probably is Spanish. It's 4. There's a 4 there, and the wear's quite a bit in there. It's uneven too, which is kind of odd, but it's a neat coin. I liked getting it. Now, talking about buying and selling. So this got this in the mail, and they buy and sell stuff. They came to town, and I went there and talked to them. They told me how much they were willing to pay for half dollars, US half dollars, 90%, because I had a tube of them. And they told me how much they would offer for a gold ring. And to me, when they said the price, and a lot of these are in the past would have like half the melt was what they would be offering to pay for common stuff. So like if a few years back when a half dollar was about $10 melt, they would probably pay $5. Or word it like 1,000% or something, make it sound like they're paying a lot when they really aren't. But I went and asked them how much they would pay for a US half dollar. They said $12 each, which I must say seems a reasonably fair amount, because I have heard from people who buy and sell silver lately that I'm pretty sure this is a silver proof dime. It's Roosevelt, so not real high in demand. But I've heard from coin dealers and stuff, they're saying stuff like we're slowing down buying. I have a lot of this stuff, and I need to sell some of it before I buy more, is what some guys have been saying. But I do think that's a neat looking piece. At ASW it takes about 6 of these to make an ounce. Actually, it's 6.5, so 13 of them makes 2 ounces of silver content. And at $8, it's really not one that you would call a stacking coin anymore. It's just costs a little too much to be a stacking coin. This bag of stuff here is stacking stuff. And there's a lot of coins in here I recognize as silver. There's Canadian quarters, Canadian sterling 5-cent pieces. So what we're going to do is go ahead and open this up. I'm going to lay down this green ashtray to look at it. I have to remove the red gemstone, which is made out of glass. It's just a paperweight. It's not an actual gemstone. I have no idea what a gemstone that size would even be worth. So let's see if we can measure the weight of that bag. I don't know that this scale would fit inside, but I can do this. $50-gram weight. It's 1.6 ounces on the Troy. What I want is to put it on grams. I think this box is going to be too loose. So we'll set it right there on this table. We'll get that box out of the way. That's not going to work. All right. With the weight in place, it says 50 grams. How much is this bag of coins going to weigh? All right, that's a good sign, 72 grams. If these are a lot of 80% US, or not US, but Canadian silver, some sterling, and that Balboa is 90% quarter size, which when I show you the price, you'll see why I'm saying that's a really good sign. $24. I don't know about you, but $24 is not very much money to have to pay to get a good sized bag of silver coins, providing they're all silver, that is. And a lot of them are, because I recognize that a lot of the designs as silver coins. So we'll pull out this cheap knife to cut the tape on the top of the bag, so I can get the bag open. When my coin dealer who sells this stuff in bulk like this puts it in a bag like this, he tapes it so that people can look at it, you know, but not necessarily open it. Sometimes he'll let people pull stuff out of it. Hello, Darby. All these coins. And $24. They're all, I don't know if they're all silver, but that's what I'm getting ready to find out. I've been cutting this tape. Should have cut this before I started, but alright. There. We'll get the scale out of the way. Get the box lid in the box. By the way, one of this vendor place had a bunch of these boxes like this, like large cardboard boxes full of these boxes. All right, there's quite a few coins in here, so we'll just see what we're looking at. Well, unfortunately, that is not a silver one. 1949. Looks like British. It is. If it was 46, it would be. So that's one down that isn't. Well, let's look at this one. This one's a sterling quarter, Canada, 1906. That's King Edward on it. It is worn. It's Edward the Seventh. That's a nice one. Offhand, I can't remember the melt value of that, but it's probably at least 6 something. And this one's worn more. But that is Queen Victoria, so this is also a sterling Canadian coin. It looks like 1872. So that's 2 sterling quarters. I know this to be 75% silver. It's 20 centavos. It's not a real big piece. We made it for the Philippines. It's a Denver one, 1944. So those are all silver. This has Queen Elizabeth on it, and it is 1960. So that's also silver. This isn't much silver. It's 1950, 25 centavos, I believe. Mexican coin that is only 30% silver. It's maybe $1 worth of silver, dollar maybe 50. All right. 1959 Canadian 10 cent with Queen Elizabeth, 80% silver. I do not know anything about this little thing. It's got a crown on one side like that. That doesn't sound silver to me, so we won't leave it in the thing. Okay, what are we looking at here? Oh, a U.S. Mercury dime that's 1940. So that's 90% silver. We'll pull this thing up. That is a quarter Balboa. This is 90% silver. It's worth about $8. It's at melt, 6 1/4 grams, 90%. All right. This 1 franc coin is from 1919. I believe it to be 8.35 silver. Probably worth about, I'd say $4, maybe $4.50 in silver. All right, this large coin here, it's 1929 and it's from Guatemala. I was trying to look it up to see if it's a silver piece, and if it is, what percentage. I had a hard time finding anything about it. Of course, this right here says 1924. Not sure. But one thing you can do with silver is drop it on glass and it makes a certain sound. Ooh, I don't know that that is silver. So we won't count that in the price. Alright. 6 pence. 1945. British. That'll be 50% silver. And it's got King George the Sixth on it. Queen Elizabeth's father. It is 50% silver. It sounded funny, but all right. 1935, 10 cent, and this will be Wilhelmina. And it'll be Netherlands coin, pretty small. Probably worth about $1 melt roughly. I think it is 640 silver. All right, here is it's a King Edward on it. This is Australian, 1910, so this is sterling silver. It's a 3 pence. All right, what's this thing? All right, this is Swiss. It is 1881, 1/2 franc. Probably 8.35 silver, but I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's probably silver. All right, here's another one with that crown on it, and it's bigger. It's a 50, 1953. That does not sound like silver. All right, this 1941 Netherlands Indies, a quarter Gooden or Gilder. It's, I think, 640 silver. All right, let's see if we can kind of do a rough estimate. Well, for one thing, the two sterling quarters, I think their melt is about $6 a piece. So that's 12 of it. This is $8 in melt. So that's 20. Each one of these 80% quarter, well, there's an 80% quarter. It's, oh, four of them would be 0.6. So it's 0.15 ounces of silver in it. Probably worth about $5. So you go 25 there. That's maybe $1.26. It's $1.50, 27.50 probably. Mercury dime's about $3, although this one's really terrible. Might not be able to get $3 out of it, but its melt value is $3. So that's $30. This one's probably worth about $1.50 maybe, $31.50. This is 835 silver, I believe, and it's probably worth about $3 or $4. It's about $35. I think the melt on a Canadian 10-cent coin like this is about $2 probably, $37. That's probably worth about, let's say, $1, give or take, worth of silver. This 3 pence from Australia is probably worth at least $1 in silver. So what was I at? 38, I think. That's a 6 pence, 50%, probably worth about $2, about $40. This is very little silver. It's probably another $1. So I think I got about $41 worth of silver out of buying $24 bag of coins. And it looks like 3 of them, or 4 of them, these 4 may not be silver. And if this one is silver, it is going to be a low percentage. And it doesn't really sound like silver to me. Well, maybe it is. I'm going to have to research that one. Because if this is 90% silver, you're talking about probably about $10 more under that 41. So maybe I got about $50 worth of silver out of this if that one turns out to be silver. But I don't know. I'm looking at the rim because it's got Guatemala, America, Central Republic, Guatemala, Central America, Central America, basically. It is kind of a neat looking coin. Never seen one before. I do have a bigger Guatemalan coin that is silver, but this may or may not be. So if it is, I'm probably at about $50 for the silver in this, give or take, by melt value. Now, I did get a few other coins that are not silver. World coins that cost me 25 cents a piece. This is neat, big coin. It's Philippines 72. It says Philippines over here. I I'm pretty sure that if that's silver, my coin dealer made a mistake. Because this is in a bag of world coins that are not supposed to be silver. 1925. That's a neat looking coin. Let's look at this closer. This is likely copper, bronze, something like that. It's Denmark, as how we call it, but they write Denmark. 1 krone. It's not it's not monetized anymore. I think they are in the European Union. It's copper or whatever. Now, this isn't old enough to be silver. It's 5 franc coin. 1970. It's got the silver on it. The design dates back quite a while. In fact, our Walking Liberty half dollar is somewhat based on it. Now, this is a French coin. It's 1912. It's probably 10 centimes. Now I mess that up occasionally and call a centime coin a centavos and a centavos coin centime, but I believe this is centime or something like that. It's worn quite a bit. It's a neat coin. I like how it looks, even worn. It's probably copper. This is an Israeli coin, I believe. Yeah, it says Israel on it. Right there. As to the date, I'm not sure, but it can't be any older than 48. Alright, this is when you know your country has messed up their monetary system. You're getting 1,000 peso coins like this Mexican coin is. When peso coins used to be 1 peso and used to be way back in the day, 1 peso was like made out of silver, and they had some 2 peso gold coins in 1945. So by 1988, all that had been dissolved and debased into nothing, basically. And here's a 1981 coin. I never had one of these before. It's 20, I believe, pesos, and it is a Mexican coin, which I quite like. Now, the last coin, I saved this out to do last because it's kind of neat looking. It's got Queen Elizabeth on it, the second. But this design, it's real cool looking to me. 64. It's the Eastern Group of the British Caribbean Territories. 2 cents. Don't know why they made 2 cent denomination ones, but it's a large coin. It's probably copper. I don't think it's brass. I think brass is a little lighter toned. It could be bronze though. None of them are worth much. All these were 25 cents a piece. But I here to tell you that all the silver coins that I got out of that bag that I paid $24 for is about $41 worth of silver. But this coin, I do not know if this is actually silver or not. I tried looking it up on my cell phone, but I couldn't narrow it down. The only thing I can do now is to pull it up on my computer and see if I can get anything off of it. I know what it is. 1/4, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Quits. Republic, Guatemala. So, if you'll bear with me for a moment, I'm going to go over to the computer and look it up and see if I can find out if it's actually silver. All right. I have an answer. This is silver. This is 72% or 720 silver. Its melt value at recent prices is about $8.90. So I'm close to $50 worth of silver for $24 by buying this bag of coins. And it also gave me a bunch of different coins to look through and talk about. I don't know, which coin out here do you all like the most? Do you like the sterling quarter? King Edward one? Or do you like this Panama 90%, 1947, 6 1/4 or a quarter Balboa? Personally, I like these Balboa designs about the most of all these coins. But some of these, they definitely have history and stuff. But that is what I'm here to tell you. You can find silver coins well under melt sometimes. And what it boils down to is when a coin dealer buys a bunch of foreign silver, those in cards like this, and then some loose ones like that, some of them, he may get to the point where he's like, I'm tired of putting these in cards. He didn't do this one. This one was already in a card when he bought it. But some of them he did. And I'm pretty sure the bigger ones he did because they're worth more. This stuff, though, it's hard to find buyers for worn out junk silver like this. This is the kind of stuff that, if worse came to worse, you could send off to the refinery. However, you need a lot of it to do that. They won't deal with that few coins. Now, somebody else, like a coin dealer, has a lot of this kind of stuff, and you take it into him, might be willing to buy it. You probably won't get full. You might be lucky to get like 60% of the melt value of this. But if that's all I got out of these, considering there's about, right now, $50 worth of silver in that, more than an ounce, maybe even a lot more than an ounce. Wonder what that weighs on the scale, all of those coins. So we'll reset the scale back up. And we'll put the weight back on it. Where's the weight? It's 50 grams. It's zeroed in. So now we'll move it to troy ounces and just start taking these coins. Now, it's not going to, if it says 2, it won't be that much because, after all, what we are talking about is various percentages of silver in these coins. Now, these smaller ones don't add up to much. These last 3 are real small. Alright, I stacked up all of them on the scale. Anyone want to throw out a guess how much it weighs? You don't have to wait too long to find out, though. So here we go. It is 1.891 troy ounces worth of coins. And being that a lot of them are 80% or lower, and some of them are sterling, I'm going to guess that to be around maybe 1.5 troy ounces worth of silver altogether. So I didn't do bad for $24, which makes paying $8 on this one not as bad as it could have been. Now, don't have a calculator real handy, but we're going to go over there to the computer and type that ASW in and see how much the melt on this is at recent silver price. All right, the thing is telling me that this is worn more, but it's saying $6.99 melt value for this at that ASW. It was $8, so a bit over melt, but this isn't the kind of coin you should expect to get under melt, I wouldn't think. It's too old, and how many of these still survive? Because it was commerce back in the day, and they used these a lot. So, and I think this kind of coin at that time, maybe a little bit older ones, the 1700s, could be spent almost anywhere, because they knew the silver percentage, they knew what it was, and everything else about it. But I'm not sure if this is 90% or if it's sterling silver actually, because it could be sterling. I don't know for sure because I didn't really look it up, because I thought it's a neat looking coin for real. Hey, it's a nice coin. I kind of wish it was less worn, but if it was a lot less worn, it probably would have been a lot higher price. You have to keep that in mind too. So Darby's down home detecting made a comment. No one else did. I've got 5 people watching and 2 likes. If anybody else wants to throw out a comment real quick, I can thank you for stopping by. But I'm pretty much sure to say this is going to be the end of this video for tonight, because I don't have anything else new to talk about, except to ask you, at $46 for an ounce of silver, and there's somebody like this come to town to buy silver and gold and other stuff, would you consider selling some? Or do you think it's going to go way higher? I mean, let's start a discussion about that, because I feel like it's important to think about. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to buy the silver and I'll sell it at some point. What price are you going to sell it at? How much are you going to sell? I mean, the Kansas Kid was talking about that, and so was Addicted to Minis. A couple channels I often interact with, the guys that run them. So what do you do? Do you buy or sell at this point? And if you are buying, are you buying a lot less, or buying stuff like this that is well under melt? For me, it's the well under melt stuff. It's common junk, but that's about all you can get under melt anymore, is the real common junk, messed up silver. And I've already heard from at least a couple coin dealers that they are slowing down buying silver because of how high it is, or the fact they have a lot on hand. And if you buy too much off of your customers when it's this high and you're paying high prices for it, there's going to run a chance where you could be way over what the spot price is if it slips. Because silver doesn't necessarily just keep going up. It's been going up lately, but that does not mean it couldn't go back down to, say, below 30 in a few months or something, because anything can happen. It's a strange world. Last time silver got this high, it went right back down after a while. It was, I don't remember the year, but it got up to around $40 an ounce, and people at that time were buying like crazy, and fear of missing out. And that could be what we're talking about right now. A lot of fear of missing out, because if you don't have any silver and silver's skyrocketing, you're like, should I have bought some? Now, some people, like Bottle Top Bandit, goes by Coinstars often and gets coins out of them. Sometimes you can get silver out of them because they reject it. That's what happened with this. I got it out of a Coinstar because somebody poured a bunch of money in the Coinstar, and then when they got done, they left what was ever in the reject section, and this was in with a couple messed up pennies. One's something like this one that's been flattened. It just didn't fit, and the machine rejected, and it rejects the silver coins from what I understand. I've even seen a video where someone took a silver coin and dropped it in a 50-cent piece, and it banged around inside the machine a little bit, and then it fell out in the reject. So seems like that it won't take the silver coin, and that it would kick stuff like this out too, because this is not in a size that any US coin probably is, or any of these other coins in this stack of stuff. I don't think they directly correspond with a size American coin of any of the modern coins, or any US circulation coin, because the US pretty much set sizes for the dime, the quarter, and the half dollar a long time ago. I mean, they did have some variances in weights and stuff of the Seated Liberty series, but by the time they got to the Barbers, it was standardized. 12.5 grams for the 50-cent piece, 6.25 for the grams for the quarter, and 2.5 grams for the dime. You know, and now they're not even made out of silver, so that doesn't even matter. And I've heard they're going to stop making the 50-cent piece of this year. Might be the last year. And the penny or cent, apparently next year is going to be the last. They're going to run out of planchets that they bought, and then they're not striking anymore because there's billions of pennies out there, or cents and stuff, so it's just not worth much. Sometimes though, when you go to the bank, you get asked for a dollar coin, and they have these. Not very often. It's kind of cool to get one because you don't see them very often. It's not a silver one, so it's only worth $1. Well, I take that back. Some coin dealers actually sell these in bags up to $1.25, $1.25 each. You know, for the several of them at a time. So they will buy them. A lot of them won't pay you any extra for it, but they'll turn around and sell it to people who want to fill up in a book with them. And if you are trying to do that, the 1973 is a little bit harder to find lower mintages. So keep that in mind. And the S-Mint ones were 40% silver, and at recent prices, they're worth about $13-something in silver. But that's pretty much all I have. I hope everyone has a great night. Let's talk about buying or selling silver right now, or gold if you have it. Would you buy or sell it? I mean, I had a gold ring that I bought a while back, paid a specific price for it that I remember, and it wasn't worth how much the gold in the ring was. It is now. I actually got what I paid for it back in dollars. Unfortunately, with inflation over the years, that amount of money is less. So, but I felt like it was time to let go of that ring. I didn't need it. It reminds me of something that was a mistake, so we move on. But everyone have a good night. We'll see you next time. I want to thank Darby for Darby's Down Home Stacking for coming by, and everyone else who watched tonight. I want to thank you too. And anyone that's going to watch this later, I want to thank them for watching it then. But have a good night. See you next time.